Why does a single movie adaptation still divide Jane Austen fans 20 years after its release? Hey, it's Susan from Ladies First, and today we're talking about Pride and Prejudice 2005 and how it became the most controversial Austen adaptation ever made, redefining what classic literature could look like on screen while fundamentally changing the story's DNA. To understand the controversy, we need to recognize what came before. The 1995 BBC miniseries starring Colin Firth had become the gold standard for Austen adaptations. It was faithful to the letter of the book, methodically paced, and treated the source material with reverent precision. Fans expected adaptations to be literary translations, keeping every social nuance, character arc, and period-accurate detail intact. Joe Wright's 2005 film shattered those expectations completely. Where the BBC version gave viewers 6 hours to absorb every subplot and social commentary, Wright compressed everything into 2 hours and 7 minutes. Where traditional adaptations prioritized literary fidelity, this film bet everything on cinematic storytelling and emotional accessibility. Joe Wright's Pride and Prejudice is undeniably gorgeous. The golden hour cinematography, the muddy hems of Empire wastes, Keira Knightley's mischievous smile, it's a visual feast that earned critical acclaim and multiple award nominations. Wright won a BAFTA for his directorial debut, and audiences fell hard for this emotional, accessible take on Austen's masterpiece. But here's where things get complicated. While the film succeeds as romantic escapism, it fundamentally misunderstands what made the original story so enduring. Wright and screenwriter Deborah Magach didn't just adapt Pride and Prejudice, they rewrote its DNA, prioritizing swoony moments over character growth and replacing Austen's razor-sharp wit with generic romantic comedy beats. The most glaring loss is Elizabeth Bennet herself. In Austen's novel, Elizabeth's greatest strength isn't her wit or beauty, it's her emotional control. She navigates a world designed to diminish women by staying cool under pressure, thinking before speaking, and maintaining her dignity even when others lose theirs. Keira Knightley's Elizabeth is the opposite. She's fiery, emotional, prone to outbursts. When Mr. Collins proposes, she doesn't politely but firmly decline. She practically has a panic attack. When Lady Catherine confronts her, she doesn't maintain composure, she storms off crying. This Elizabeth might be more relatable to modern audiences, but she's also far less interesting. Without that legendary self-control, she becomes just another feisty romantic heroine. The same problem plagues Darcy. Matthew Macfadyen plays him as misunderstood rather than genuinely flawed. In the book, Darcy undergoes real transformation. He learns to question his prejudices, humble his pride, and examine his behavior toward others. The film's Darcy feels more like he was always a good person who just needed better PR. The film's biggest gamble is betting everything on the central love story. Gone are Austen's themes about admitting personal flaws, growing beyond first impressions, and learning to see past social prejudices. Instead, we get a straightforward enemies-to-lovers romance, complete with stormy weather during the first proposal and golden sunrise during the second. These moments are undeniably cinematic, but they miss the point of Austen's original story. In the book, Elizabeth is initially insulted when Darcy says he loves her against his reason. Their entire arc is about discovering it's perfectly reasonable for them to love each other, that their initial judgments were wrong, not their feelings. The film finds love against reason perfectly romantic, which represents a fundamental misunderstanding of what made this story special in the first place. Perhaps most significantly, the adaptation strips away the moral growth that drives both characters. Elizabeth's devastating self-realization after reading Darcy's letter, where she recognizes her own vanity and prejudice, gets reduced to mild disappointment in Wickham. Darcy's profound admission of his selfish upbringing and need for reformation disappears entirely. Without these moments of genuine self-reflection, their love story becomes exactly what Austen was critiquing, a romance based on initial attraction rather than genuine understanding and growth. Ultimately, Wright's Pride and Prejudice reflects our contemporary discomfort with stories that demand genuine change from their protagonists. We want to believe people are fundamentally good and just misunderstood, rather than flawed beings capable of growth. We prefer passion over patience, emotion over reflection. There's nothing wrong with preferring this version. Countless viewers have found joy, comfort, and even inspiration in Wright's romantic vision. But in choosing style over substance, accessibility over complexity, the film loses what made Pride and Prejudice more than just another love story. It made it a story about becoming worthy of love. Not just finding someone who loves you despite your flaws, but growing into someone who deserves that love through genuine change and self-awareness. The fact that we're still debating this adaptation 20 years later proves its significance. Great art should provoke discussion, challenge expectations, and make us reconsider what we think we know. While the film may have lost Austen's sharp social satire and character development, it succeeded brilliantly at making viewers feel the overwhelming power of romantic love. Whether that trade-off was worth it remains the central question that divides Austen fans to this day. What's your take on the 2005 adaptation? Do you prefer faithful accuracy or emotional interpretation? Let me know in the comments. And if you love diving deep into controversial adaptations, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Ladies First.